Is this how the Warriors are going to look next season? Hey, do you want to win a PS5 with Madden NFL 21 and NBA 2K21? We'll be announcing the winner as soon as they come out, so be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. So with the Golden State Warriors trending over the last couple of weeks due to superstars rumored to want to team up with Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson for next season, it looks like some news surrounding Ben Simmons coming to the Warriors has just been released. Ben Simmons being traded from the 76ers is no surprise to anybody, with him headed to the Warriors. The new addition of Ben Simmons will be unstoppable. Imagine needing to block the paint when Simmons wants to drive while some of the greatest shooters in NBA history are sitting behind the perimeter. Even though the Warriors have been successful without Simmons, it'll be a great addition to continue their dynasty. The Philadelphia 76ers are entering what could very well be a major offseason of change. After being bounced out of the playoffs by the Boston Celtics in the first round, Elton Brand and company know that things need to be done. That is where the Golden State Warriors could come into play. Granted, the 76ers may have zero interest in trading Joel Embiid. However, moving Ben Simmons could very well make sense for Philly. It is going to be an interesting and crazy offseason in the NBA. Now make sure you guys continue watching because I'm going to be going into detail with exclusive information on how this trade will definitely happen and why it makes sense. Ever since Kevin Durant departed the Bay for the Brooklyn Nets, Warriors fans have been dreaming about the next big fish they could pair with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. While most of that talk is centered around Milwaukee Bucks star Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Warriors undoubtedly have had their attention on the Philadelphia 76ers dysfunction, hoping they choose to break up the Ben Simmons-Joel Embiid duo. The 76ers fired head coach Brett Brown recently as well and added the new addition of Doc Rivers. The Golden State Warriors are planning to add a third star to their roster to line up along Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson as well, and Ben Simmons is the player they are looking for. Simmons is a brilliant ball handler and defender who could take over ball handling responsibilities when Curry rests. He is also an all-NBA caliber defender, and having him alongside Draymond Green and Klay Thompson will make scoring difficult for opponents. However, the Golden State Warriors will have to consider Ben Simmons' shooting woes, as he is arguably the worst three-point shooter in the league. The Warriors already have a poor shooter in the starting lineup in Draymond Green, and having two such stars share the court at the same time might result in spacing issues for the team. The Warriors would receive Ben Simmons, and the 76ers would get Andrew Wiggins, Kevon Looney, Jordan Poole, and the Warriors' 2020 first-round pick. For the Warriors, they would be bringing in a player that could make plays for Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson. Simmons would also bring good size and the ability to score in the paint. He can't shoot, but the Warriors would not need him to. On the other hand, the 76ers would be bringing in a wing who can score at a high level, but also shoot the ball. Looney would be a quality backup big man. Poole has a lot of talent as well, but the number 2 overall pick in the 2020 NBA draft would be intriguing. With that selection, the 76ers could very well go out and select LaMelo Ball to replace Simmons at point guard. Ball is a much better shooter and is without question capable of becoming a star in the NBA. Looking at this deal, both teams will be getting exactly what they need. Neither team sheds any money, but they may not want to. Philadelphia would also shake things up a bit while keeping their franchise face, Joel Embiid, on the roster. The Warriors would be changing the look of their franchise, but it might be what they need to get back into the NBA Finals. If this doesn't go as planned, the Warriors can always include Draymond Green in the deal, but the real question is it really necessary? If the 76ers ask for Green in a trade package, would the Warriors add him into the package with no hesitation? I mean, we saw how Green handled the Warriors without Steph and Klay last season. They had the worst record in the league. That just shows that Green is only a systematic player. He's only good if you put him next to good players. He can't lead a team nor be a part of a big three. I mean, why do you think people call Curry and Thompson the Splash Bros? If Green was that good, they would include him in that group as well. This move would certainly be the biggest splash of them all. With Doc Rivers coming into Philadelphia as the new coach and a clear overhaul needed for the franchise that has disappointed in the playoffs for yet another year, rumors have already begun swirling about Doc's desire for a new point guard. This move would absolutely require the number 2 overall pick outright, plus probably one more future first-round pick, Wiggins, and maybe one more role player such as Draymond Green. Simmons could be dynamic on the Warriors. He could share ball handling duties with Curry, who is phenomenal off the ball in the Warriors offense. While Simmons' shooting doesn't align with the Warriors, he does just about everything else at an elite level. If anyone can find a way to best utilize Simmons' talents, it's Steve Kerr and the Warriors. So despite the high price tag, it could be worth it. They just have to hope a better offer doesn't present itself to the Sixers. That is why it is mandatory to include Green in this deal. Now make sure you guys keep watching because I'm going to be going into the ultimate reason as to why the Warriors are going to be trying their hardest to trade for Ben Simmons. NBC Sports NBA insider Tom Haberstroh stated his reasons for why Simmons would be the best fit with this Warriors roster. I think he is the perfect fit next to Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, and people might say, hey, he kind of fills the same role as Draymond Green. Why would you go for a guy that kind of duplicates what he does? Well, Ben Simmons is much younger than Draymond Green. I think if you're going to try to acquire someone with the number 2 pick and package it with the next year's pick they received from the Minnesota Timberwolves, I think you have to shoot for a player that is going to be someone that kind of transitions to that next phase of this Warriors team. After Stephen Curry, after Klay Thompson and Draymond Green, and that player is Ben Simmons. Philadelphia has given Ben Simmons a rather long leash when it comes to developing his outside game, but if time is indeed running out for the Sixers, the Warriors front office is the place to call. I don't know about you, but I'm happy to see Simmons coming to a team like the Warriors. This time, when driving in the paint, he won't be passing it out to some bum like Josh Richardson or Tobias Harris. He'll be passing it out to some of the greatest NBA shooters of all time. And there won't be a single team to stop that kind of ball movement. We saw how the Lakers failed to replicate the Warriors' offense with KCP and Danny Green. Whenever LeBron or AD would drive and kick out the ball to the perimeter, the only thing you'd see going up was bricks. Danny Green and KCP aren't the Splash Bros, even though they won the championship fair and square. I'll give them that. Teams like the Nets, Warriors, and so on will be in the Lakers' way for another championship this time, and with the new addition of Simmons on the Warriors, the Lakers better be making some offensive moves as well to improve their roster, or they're not going to be getting past this Warriors team. Ben Simmons is and will be a great player despite his shortcomings, but he does not fit the 76ers system. If a point guard refuses to shoot, it limits the offense. If a point guard with his size declines to take it to the rim every chance he gets, it's a problem. During the regular season, it's all stat stuffing. Different teams every night with no real time to game plan makes it easy to excel. But when the playoffs sets in and teams have time to devise a plan, it's bad, and this is what the Philadelphia 76ers are dealing with. It's kind of like the Bucks situation. Giannis and the Bucks were exposed during the playoffs due to Giannis driving every single time. All the Heat needed to do was block the paint and force the ball to the perimeter where they would miss most of their three-point shots because they didn't have solid three-point shooters, which caused them to lose the series. This is also exactly what the Raptors did to the Sixers back in the 2019 playoffs. Again, if you have a point guard like Ben Simmons that can't shoot, you need to have a backcourt like Curry and Thompson on your team. Ben Simmons can finally play his game when he's with the Warriors. He doesn't need to worry about shooting because Curry and Thompson will be doing it all. When the playoffs set in, they won't be having this problem due to the amazing shooters Simmons will have alongside him. He brings attention to the ball every time he drives towards the paint, which will leave Curry and Thompson way too much room to shoot. This team will be a nightmare to play defense against. Like, what will the coaches even tell their players when competing against this team? Simmons is not a fit for the Sixers and never was. He won't be winning a championship there anytime soon, especially with the Nets and Bucks ready to compete for a championship next season. Those two teams are 10 times better than the Sixers will ever be. Let's just say the Sixers don't trade Simmons. If Ben Simmons declines to practice jump shots, then what? Regular season wins and stats mean nothing when a title is on the line. Against the Raptors in that Game 7, Leonard hit the game-winning shot, but he also took 39 field goal attempts while Simmons attempted just 5. That's not what a player looking to win does for his team. This is what separates the great players from the average ones. Where was Simmons' desire to win? But it goes back to his inability to shoot the ball. The offense just doesn't move well from a half-court set. The issue is not the offensive scheme, the issue is the players in the offensive scheme. The Boston Celtics won a title with a horrible shooting Rajon Rondo. With great perimeter players around him, the Celtics were great. However, that doesn't mean that Rondo was not willing to shoot. He took his shots as defenses played off him, and that is what Simmons must learn to do if he stays with the Sixers, and that is going to take some major adapting to do. This is why it makes so much sense to be traded to the Warriors. Expect to see both the Warriors and 76ers be aggressive this offseason. Neither team feels they are too far away from championship contention, and a big move like this makes complete sense. Drop a like on this video if you enjoyed. I'll catch you guys in the next one.